The onboarding was a lot of manual labor. So when a customer wanted to onboard, for example, his firewall alerts into our service, we always offered a set of hours, consultancy hours, to go with the customer, go through the firewall configuration, set up the syslog forwarder, go through the whole syslog configuration, making sure everything fits. On some customers, it went up to 40 hours per onboarding. And now, thanks to, well, your product, VirtualMetric DataStream, we have more like a one-click onboard solution. Well, my name is Koos Goossens. I work for a company called Wortell in the Netherlands. As a security architect, I'm responsible for a lot of the product development behind the scenes. I tend to our SIEM as code pipelines, but I also assist with our security analysts. We are now trusted by hundreds of customers by now, which is really an honor. As I mentioned earlier, we offer the customers a set of hours, consultancy hours, to go through setting up the Linux machine, setting up our syslog or any other syslog daemon on Linux, configuring it with the AMA agent, making sure transformation and filtering and parsing is done correctly. A lot of that was done on the source, on the actual firewall itself, which obviously complicates things a bit because every customer has a different environment, different vendors. Whenever we wanted to onboard third-party logs in the past, we stayed away a bit from it because it was complex. We knew about the high ingest costs associated with it. It was really hard to do, for example, multi-source, multi-destination kind of pipelines. I resorted to Logstash in the past as well. And while Logstash is really more flexible in that regard, it comes with its own set of challenges. Some of our customers are a little bit afraid to use Linux, for example, and the configuration always remained locally on the server, out of our reach, or we had to go through the change process whenever we wanted to change something or when we want to optimize things. Parsing and filtering was always done on query, so after the fact. So those were, in a nutshell, the challenges we were facing. It was a hassle, manual labor, like I said, and now it's more like, okay, you have this virtual machine or container, you forward everything to there. It's just a simple open the floodgates. We have connection to that machine through our management portal for VirtualMetric. So the agent onboarding is this PowerShell one-liner. They can run it on Linux, but also on Windows. Customers are really happy with that. The agent gets onboarded in the management platform of VirtualMetric, and there we can manage everything. So we can manage the pipelines, the filtering, the parsing, dropping, compression, multi-destinations, multi-sources, and that's really great. So now the onboarding fee is stripped from every new proposal, and we can manage what gets dropped, what gets redirected into expensive storage, like the important alerts, and what gets redirected to the Sentinel data lake for forensics reasons and keep the raw data intact. So now we have an ability to have an overview, right? So from our management plane, we have insights in monitoring and metrics across the entire estate, across all of our customers, which we didn't have before. And whenever we want to imply change, for example, we can do it from one centralized place on the management portal, and we can just push out and roll out that change across all the VirtualMetric DataStream directors which are out there for us. Yeah. Sometimes we lost a deal or two because of the fact that we were not as open to third-party log ingestion, because we were careful and protective about the Sentinel ingest and the cost associated with it. And now that we do offer a very easily onboarding with third-party logs, we also notice that it's a much better conversation with our customers whenever they just have the idea, this is our firewall, we want to onboard it in our service. And now we don't say, yes, it depends. Now we can say, yes, we can do that. One of the reasons also why we decided to partner with VirtualMetric is because of its very personal approach. So no creating a ticket and waiting days for response, which we cannot sometimes allow us to happen. So it was really great. Yeah. It was a great journey together so far. I think most MSSPs and companies in general know by now the value about ingesting alerts versus logs and taking care of the Sentinel cost. But I think a lot of them are still, especially those still using Logstash, I think they're really missing out. And obviously when you're struggling with high volume and high cost with Sentinel, I think you should look into it as well. You will guarantee save some ingest cost at the end of the month. When you look at the large scale global enterprise, you see a lot of them ingest large volumes of logs because they were used to doing that in the old SIEM days. And some of them are even ingesting it into expensive expensive storage and wasting a lot of money that way. So I think for those customers, VirtualMetric DataStream is a no-brainer because first of all, the ease of use, but secondly, you even save a lot of money because of the way you handle, like I said, compression, null-valued key pairs. I'm not sponsored to sit here and record this video. I really believe in the product which you're delivering and the vision you're delivering, and it's helping us creating a safer world, one customer at a time. So yeah, let's continue this journey together.